This is the Jack Murphy Podcast. Here's your host, Jack Murphy.
I think it's one of the greatest failures in the history of business.
Oh, my.
Period, Alpha. That's how strongly I feel about this.
Worse than the Edsel?
Gosh, I don't know anything about that failure. I know that was a bad one, but I'm talking about the decline of Wendy's.
Oh, yeah.
Wendy's has announced they're going to be closing about 300 locations, and that's just a start around America because they've got a lot of stores that apparently aren't making money. They're not doing well. Nobody's there. Now, I remember when Wendy's was good. Now, back in my younger days, Alpha, for just a minute, my family was in the restaurant business, and for just a minute, I got into the restaurant business, and I worked for McDonald's. I went to Hamburger U. And I ran this really busy store in Atlanta up on Hawken Bridge Road in Roswell. And back then, everybody at McDonald's Corporation was terrified of Wendy's. They said, when McDonald's goes under, it won't be because of this one or that one. It's going to be Wendy's. And they were just all concerned about Wendy's. And, you know, Wendy's had, I don't know, their beef seemed to be better. It was thicker and juicier, and, you know, they cooked it fresh from scratch.
And they were square.
Yeah, and it was thick, and their fry. I like McDonald's fries better.
I don't know. I really liked Wendy's fries when they were good fries.
You either like the littler fries or you don't, you know. And then, of course, I love their chili. Love that chili. And that, you know what how they made their chili?
Yeah.
I think it was just the burgers they didn't sell. They took those patties and put those in the chili. But,
yeah.
But it was good. It was fresh. You got fresh lettuce and tomato. I mean, I liked everything about it. And then I don't know if this is when it started to go downhill, because I actually liked them. Remember, they added salads at Wendy's. They had a salad bar.
Right.
And but I haven't been in a Wendy's in forever.
Right.
And I think with me, it started about the time they started doing breakfast. The only thing I do is my grandson, I'll pop in their drive-thru and get a Frosty to take over to my grandson.
Oh, yeah, the Frosty.
He loves it. Which, another thing they have on McDonald's. If you go to McDonald's, their ice cream machine never works. But they're closing down 300 Wendy's stores, and I don't know what the problem is. So, do you have any theories?
Yeah, well, fast food in general has gotten so expensive. I mean, you can't go in and get a meal for a family like you used to for a few bucks. I mean, it's not exactly Five Guys burgers and fries where, you know, you take out a mortgage to buy lunch.
That place is ridiculous. I have one close to me, and I went in there, I don't know, one day and got a couple of to go. I got 2 burgers, 2 fries, and 2 drinks, and I didn't pay any attention. You know, it's a hamburger joint, right? It was like $31.
Right.
That was my first and only time to Five Guys.
And then they ask you for a tip.
Yeah. And who cares where the French fries are from? You know, they make a big deal out of the potatoes today are from Idaho. I went, whoop-de-doo.
Well, they do give you they put the fries in the container and then dump more in the bag. So you got that going for you.
So you get $2 worth of fries instead of $1 worth of potatoes.
So quit your bitching.
But, yeah, you hear people all the time on the news now. That's whenever there's something going on with the economy, the local news people will always send out a reporter to McDonald's, you know, and they'll interview some customers, and they'll go, we can hardly afford to come in here anymore at McDonald's. We got 2 hamburgers and some fries. It was $48, you know, it'd be something like that. And depending on which city, I think if you go to like San Francisco, it really is $48.
Yeah.
But you know, they've got their problems because the value meal is not such a value anymore.
Now, I read this some time ago about McDonald's, is that they could give away their burgers and just sell the French fries for what they sell them for and make money because the markup is so high on the French fries.
Well, McDonald's Corporation makes most of their money off the real estate. They make very little money off the operation and the food.
Right.
Now they do make a little bit money because they supply all the food to the franchisee, but they make the franchisee buy the land and lease the land from them. So they're really a real estate company that but it's in their best interest that the franchises do well. But they let the franchisee make most of the money off the food end of it. They make a lot of their money off the real estate. But I saw a commercial for Wendy's this morning. Let me see if I've got it here. It was a special. I don't think it's going to play, but this Wendy's commercial, it was for 2 big hamburgers, 2 big burgers, a giant fry, and 2 drinks for $8. And I thought, well, that's a better deal than anything I've seen lately. Why? I think the problem is they're not advertising it anymore.
Yeah.
Have you seen a Wendy's commercial on television or heard one anywhere lately?
They did a Halloween thing where they cross promoted with one of the with one of the horror movies. Well, it's a horror comedy kind of thing with the Addams family, not the Addams family. The Addams Family daughter. There was a movie about that, so they were cross promoting that. But
Wednesday,
that's all
her
I've
name
seen.
is Wednesday, right?
Wednesday, that's it. Yes.
Yeah. Well, I don't remember seeing that, but they're just not doing well, so they're closing down a whole bunch of restaurants. But, the other thing is you go in a lot of these fast food places anymore, and they used to be at least competent at the counter, and now it's not. Like when I was like 18, 19 years old when I worked there, and I had grown-up adults who worked there.
Yeah.
I mean, at the time, it was a pretty decent job. We paid fairly well, and they got the shifts they wanted, and we liked having older, mature people in there because they were just easier to deal with than the kids were. They're in the back shooting the mustard machine and the ketchup machine at each other, and that was crazy. But Wendy's. It's pretty funny if you want to laugh a little bit. Go on to YouTube and look up Wendy's training videos, and you see stuff like this.
Got a good beat, easy to dance to.
Real skill. Real skill. You need the one with the real skill.
Yeah.
Hi, I'm Wendy's founder, Dave Thomas.
Dave.
From the day I opened the first Wendy's, my goal has been to serve the best hamburger in the business. A Wendy's old-fashioned hamburger. So I started with the freshest beef I could find, 100% pure beef.
That's right.
Never frozen. And we patted it in squares.
I think that's the problem. We don't have good training videos like that anymore to get these kids ready.
You need a portly guy like
Yeah. That was sad when Dave passed away. He was real big in adoptions. His daughter Wendy was adopted, and he gave a lot of money to various agencies. But it's just a shame Wendy's gone.
And there's a lot of conspiracy theories about McDonald's hamburgers, about the meat, that they sell so many hamburgers in a day. They claim the billions that they said they've served, that there's not that many cows to provide that beef for those hamburgers.
That's not true, because I remember when I worked, I don't remember what the total was, but I think it was approaching 1 billion even back then.
Right.
And they are, one thing McDonald's is, they are meticulous at inventory. That's one thing I hated. You'd find yourself at 2:00 in the morning counting French fry bags to come up with your French fry yield. Everything has a yield. And that's how you tell if people are stealing or they're wasting too much food or whatever. So all these stats are collected every day, and they go into, if you're a franchisee, it goes into your franchisee, and then he ups it to the McDonald's Corporation. So they keep a pretty good count. And you figure, I think in the United States alone, gosh, I can't remember the number right now, but worldwide, there's tens of thousands of McDonald's. So,
I have seen people document that they have put a McDonald's hamburger aside for like months or
I've seen that.
years, and it
I've
doesn't
seen that.
mold.
I've
It
seen
looks
that.
the same as the day they bought it.
Well, I'm sure that the things like the McDonald's buns have got a lot of preservatives into them. The meat is frozen.
Yeah.
So they produce it, flash freeze it. It goes to the store frozen, and it's frozen when it goes on the grill.
Yeah.
It's cooked from a frozen state. Same, the French fries frozen when they get there, and they cook them. But that's how they get the consistency that they want. But you're right. I've seen those things where people put them in the freezer and they pull them out 20 years later or something, you know.
Oh, not even in the freezer. They can just leave them out.
Yeah, they put them in one of those glass cake things.
Yeah.
And just sit it in there. And you're right. It doesn't
Looks the
mold.
same
And I
as
think
the
that's
day they bought
because of the preservatives.
And
Maybe that's it. Maybe people are just eating less fast food in general.
Some people are. I mean, so you can see that some people obviously aren't. I mean, they're less healthy and less trim than they ever were. We've got an obesity problem in this country.
Yesterday, we saw a lot of reaction to the caving in of some Democratic senators to get the CR passed. And some of them are pretty funny. You know, the ones that you expect, like on The View, they went crazy and nuts. And there are people all over talking about how Schumer's got to go, Schumer's lost touch, and AOC needs to go in. But I saw this one guy, he was all over, and I don't even know who he is, but he was all over the talk yesterday. And this guy reminds me a little bit of Keith Olbermann.
Oh, geez.
You know who he is.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
This guy's a nut. Watch this.
The capitulation of a few Senate Democrats is as backstabbing a betrayal as we will ever need to unite as a true Democratic Party and dismantle the leadership that put us in this position. Mom Donnie has shown us the way. It is time to end the era of the feckless Democrat, too scared to unify the party and stand up to Donald Trump, to stand up to lawlessness, and in this case, to fight for Americans. And let's remember, what Republicans are doing is robbing millions of Americans of their health insurance. It is horrible what Republicans are doing, and it is equally bad that Democrats have lost their spine in standing up to it.
That guy's got a ring light. I was talking about the ring light. He definitely has one. He's editing. He's got a background. Yeah. So that fit that he was pitching wasn't all in one piece. It was pieced together.
Of course.
But we know what he's saying. We talked about it yesterday is not true. I thought you explained it very well yesterday about what's going on with Obamacare, that it was supposed to run out in December of this year.
Right, and that's the way the Democrats designed it. That's the way they set it up. So it would sunset on December 31st of 2025. Right. And then
we saw Obama yesterday saying that we were going to save $4 trillion.
Yes,
and that if they didn't,
and healthcare was going to get better and less expensive, and everybody could afford it. It's going to be a great thing for Americans. And so this was designed to do exactly what it was going to do, but all of a sudden it became a chaos and disaster if they do. And now that they've come to some agreement, which the House has yet to vote on, they were screaming, well, you're starving people by denying their SNAP benefits and food stamps, or you're keeping government workers out of work. You're stalling airplanes at airports around the country. And
planes are falling out of the sky.
Right. Okay. Now we're going to fix that. No, you can't fix it. We'll have nothing to scream about.
You can't fix it. You can't do it. And then Obama, we played the clip yesterday where Obama said, and if we don't meet all these goals, we have to add back money to take care of it.
We'll find other ways to make up that money, but no.
What happens to all those promises that were made that were supposedly in the bill? What happened?
Promises? Well,
I don't understand.
Yeah, they weren't exactly promises. I mean, they were just kind of we'll try our best, maybe.
The other video I saw that I got a laugh out of is Chuck Schumer. He does not know how to pivot. He has one style, and it's attack Donald Trump and do this. That's all he knows how to do.
Mm-hmm.
And so he did that yesterday, and he just says the same things over and over and over, like it's going to be different this time, like people are going to believe it this time.
He's spending all his time on eroding democracy, taking away our rights. Trump is the focal point of this healthcare crisis.
Right.
Queen of make-believe.
He's got one speed, and that's it.
Yeah. And okay, so they're not going to have, so the subsidy is going to sunset anyway, but we're providing food for people. We're putting people back to work. We're getting airplanes back up in the air, and that's still not good enough.
No, it's not. It's not good enough.
Yeah.
And it's going to cost, I think it's going to cost Schumer the leadership position. And
no doubt.
I don't think he's going to win re-election. I think that the party has now swung totally to the left, extreme left.
And Republicans will paint Mamdani as the face of the Democrat Party, which is absolutely what they should do. And he has named the person who they call the architect of the let's put social workers in place of police officers to respond to crimes. He's appointed that person his chief of staff. So
really,
yes. So look for NYPD officers to go. Where's the exit? I'm getting out of here.
Well, it's funny. Florida's taking advantage of it. They're running ads up there that say, hey, if you're disappointed, come on down to Florida and you can come to work here where we still have the police. And then Homeland Security's also advertising to try if you want to protect New York City, become an ICE agent.
Hi, Jack Murphy podcast lovers. I'm River the Unicorn. Now remember to follow Jack Murphy on TikTok, too. He's really big on the talk. He's the talk of the town because he's so progressive and forward-thinking and adorable. You can follow him at Jack Murphy Podcast on TikTok. That's at Jack Murphy Podcast, my sweeties. Now back to more of that big ol' adorable stud muffin now on the Jack Murphy Podcast. Yay!
I don't know if you've seen this, and I think that there's a little bit of suspicion about this, but I read the story, Alpha, and it seemed believable. It's a story about the January 6th pipe bomb scandal.
Oh.
And apparently there's a female Capitol police officer who now works at the CIA as some sort of protective police officer at the CIA. And I didn't even know they had this, Alpha. This is pretty scary, but they've got some software now where whoever planted those bombs had their face all covered up so you couldn't see them. But they can actually take video of you, and the computer analyzes your gait and your steps and all that. And they have a 96% positive ID on this lady right here. Here's the cop. This is her on the bottom left when she was a Capitol police officer. And, of course, that's the video in the middle of the person planting the pipe bombs and then some other photos of her. So she looks a little bit different in a lot of these photos, but this gait thing that they use is supposedly very, very accurate, and she is a 96% match for this person. But you said this was on the Blaze. You said that Glenn Beck is pulling back on it a little bit.
Just walking it back a little bit. I think there might be some wiggle room in there for her. There is no doubt, however, that whoever did this, it was strategically placed in order to try to interrupt the vote that was going to be taking place at the Capitol. For one thing, I mean, they were claiming it was put there the night before, but the device itself had an egg timer for its timing device. That only goes 45 minutes to an hour at a time, and it was set to go off at precisely the time when they were supposed to start the vote on the Hill. And so there's a lot of questions about the device itself, about when it was planted, about the fact that Capitol Police walked past it a number of times, about Vice President Kamala Harris being there at the Democratic headquarters, the fact that Secret Service had to scope the area, even bring in bomb sniffing dogs.
Dog sniffing dogs.
Yeah, dog sniffing dogs. I got one of those myself. They brought in those, and they didn't smell the bomb, and it was set where it could be seen very easily, but was just detected at the right time.
So you're saying it may not have been a bomb at all?
There is, from what I have seen, it was not an operational device, that it really would not have detonated. But what they used that for was to shut down the voting. And then they used that as the catalyst for why the MAGA crowd allegedly went in and started tearing down fences. But there's also a lot of evidence about who was really doing the fence tearing down and who was doing the cutting and breaking windows and all that.
I have to say, it sounds to me like you've been doing a lot of your own research on January 6th. And as you know, if you watch television, we're told over and over and over, don't do your own research.
I think that they can do their own research.
Don't do any of your own research.
Doing your own research is associated with conspiracy theory circles.
This go-it-alone approach, doing your own research, that can have serious consequences.
You should get prison time for even questioning the vaccines.
Can we all stop saying, I need to do my own research?
That phrase, do your own research, 4 words, 4 little words that are hurting America.
Doing your own research hurts America.
Everybody has a supercomputer in their hand.
That's right.
That empowers them to do their own research, and that's the problem.
You must not do your
Oh,
own
man.
research.
I need to do my own research.
I don't ever understand what that means. I'm doing my own research.
You can't do your own research unless you're a scientist. Do your own research.
Maybe you've told yourself you're playing it safe, you just want to wait and see since this is a new vaccine. No.
Roll the up and get the vaccine.
Unvaccinated people spread.
Do you do your own research, Alpha?
Obviously, I have to get control of myself.
It sounds like you've been doing your own research. I mean, I
kinda
see that, and that makes me so mad. How dare you tell people not to educate themselves?
Right.
And just believe whatever bullshit you tell us.
We will tell you how you are supposed to think. I think that was part of 1984. I think that's what they were telling everyone.
Yes.
Yeah, we'll
Yes,
tell you what to
exactly.
believe and what to think. And so don't be getting all uppity and having your own ideas about anything.
Hey, I wanted to say you, over the last few podcasts, you've moved around in your house quite a few times, and you're in a new area of your basement. It looks pretty cool. You've got
I didn't even know this was here.
He's got his pool table and some beer mirrors, and what's his name?
That's Dedrick the Entertainer.
Dedrick the Entertainer.
Yeah, we used him to scare the shit out of trick-or-treaters.
So you got a pretty cool basement going on there, but I think I found one that's even cooler. They turned their basement into an old Waffle House.
Awesome.
It's pretty funny. Look at this.
Oh, wow. Booths and everything.
Mm-hmm. You know, if you go into the Waffle House, I guess it's still this way. I haven't been into one for a long, long time, but if you go over to the Waffle House jukebox, they have Waffle House songs on the jukebox. Did you know that?
We used to, when I was on the radio in Seattle, we used to play the Waffle House
Play
song.
them, yeah. We played a few of them too. They're terrible, but
do they have drunken fights at midnight at his basements?
I guess it depends on how much they have to drink, because that's another reason that I don't like to go to the Waffle House, because I see too many drunken fights at the Waffle House on social media. Well, I guess you'll be watching television, ABC Television Network tonight at 8 o'clock, Alpha. I know you're a big fan of Dancing with the Stars.
Oh, I never miss it.
Is that your dream to someday you'll get a big part and they'll invite you on to Dancing with the Stars?
You know, I've always wanted to be a dancer.
You know, really. I have hated that show since it's in its 20th season. And tonight, Tom Bergeron is coming back after they fired him for a one-time appearance for the anniversary of the show tonight. But I'm not big into dancing or watching people dance, anything. And I never got into it. But I know people that they never miss it.
Yeah, I don't get that. I don't get that show. I don't get The Masked Singer.
No, that's the dumbest show ever made.
I don't get that one.
People love it.
I don't get shows like The Bachelor and The Bachelorette. And did you see The Golden Bachelor? He was married to this lady for like 3 months, and they decided.
I hate every one of those, and I hate all those Real Housewife shows.
Oh,
that are on Bravo. They're the worst. All it is beep, beep, beep. All they do is yell at each other and cuss each other out all the time. And, and even the shows that I do like I like some of The Voice and some of American Idol and some of America's Got Talent, but I can't stand the commercials. If I'm going to watch it, I have to record it so that I can fast forward through them. So I'm always a day behind of what's actually happened on that show.
Yeah. And I know my friend Susan, she loves watching Dancing with the Stars. She was told me the other night she was watching it, but I just I don't get it.
Just a little bit of a reminder, a word to the wise, if you will. Do not worry about the worries from yesterday. Leave it in the past. Move forward with confidence, because there are so many new things to be experienced today. New joy to be had. So move forward, be strong, and have a great rest of your day.
Well, I do have some news from Florida today, Alpha, that I wanted to share with you. A 44-year-old man in Florida was arrested after opening fire, as in gunfire, on 3 others after an argument outside a bar over how many eggs chickens can lay. He must have been pretty drunk.
Arguments going out there right now.
He must have been pretty loaded because he unloaded the gun on these 3 people and didn't hit anybody seriously.
Oh, well, there's that.
Peter Riera opened fire on 3 people outside the bar after closing time last week. That explains it after closing time. They'd all been drinking, and an argument broke out. Peter raises chickens, and the group apparently was arguing about how many eggs chickens can lay. Now, are we talking about at once or per day or whatever? Regardless, it's not worth shooting people over.
You know, in the poultry business, they call that the rate of lay. How much?
Really?
Oh, yeah, and they keep a track of that sort of thing. So the last thing you should do is argue with a chicken farmer about how many eggs, especially a chicken farmer who's drunk and armed.
You know, when we were living out in California, I had some property out there, and I had a garden, had some raised beds and everything, but I said, I'm going to get me some chickens. And so we had a Tractor Supply in town, and they had baby chicks.
Yeah.
So I got 6 of them and had a little heat lamp, and I fed them and raised them and everything, and had a coop and everything for them. And when they were about 9 months old, they started laying eggs.
There you go.
And I had more eggs than I knew what to do with.
So?
But
as a capitalist?
Well, no, I gave them away to coworkers and stuff. But I found the chickens to be very inconsistent.
Very what?
Inconsistent.
Oh.
So I fed them the same and watered them the same all the time, but they didn't lay the same all the time. Some of them, you'd have days where Susie she wouldn't put out that day. Non-producer. So instead of 6 eggs, you only get 4 or 5 that day. And I would yell at them. I'd say, you better get busy or we're going to have fried chicken this weekend.
Did you ever think about adding a rooster?
No, I didn't want a rooster. I hate roosters because they're loud and obnoxious. I
maybe
didn't
that's
want
why
that
they
at
were
the house.
upset.
No, but I made a mistake. I had 2 Labradoodles, and I made the mistake of leaving the door open to the chicken coop one day, and they killed them all but one. They didn't eat them, too. They just killed them.
Yeah.
And then I gave the one that I had left over to this little girl next door, and a owl got it.
And so ended your stint as a gentleman farmer.
That was the end. No, I still grew crops.
Oh, okay.
But it ended my livestock portion of my agricultural operation.
Oh, wow.
That happened to a lot of people out there. They have a lot of big birds out in Southern California. A lot of eagles, big owls, and things. And when I first moved out there, people would say, now, if you've got a cat or a dog, don't let it out at night because coyotes will eat it. If you have a cat, keep it inside because they'll eat it any time of the day. And if you have small dogs, make sure you have them on a leash and you're with them because owls and other things will swoop down and grab them. And the most amazing story I heard when I lived there was a guy that I played golf with. And one day we went down to eat at the place where we played golf. They had a little restaurant there. And he was walking around out front with this little dog. And I said, cute dog, where'd you get it? And he goes, it fell out of the sky at our house. And I said, what? He goes, it was in an owl's claws, wiggling, and it wiggled out and dropped in our yard. And I ran out and grabbed it because we saw it.
Oh,
happen.
Man.
Can you imagine that?
Yeah, we had a little dog. They
didn't know where it came from, so they couldn't return it.
Yeah, we had a little Yorkie, and we got home one night and went out in the front yard, and they were just running around. He was like 3 pounds, 3 or 4 pounds. And we heard this woof and didn't know what it was just as he ran into the bushes. And we looked up and there was an owl sitting on the top peak of the roof, and he had swooped down and would have grabbed him had he not run into the bushes there. And so I understand.
It's crazy.
And I have friends.
These Labradoodles that I had, a little word about the Labradoodle. Don't
get a Labradoodle?
No. The problem with the Labradoodle is you never know what you're going to get because labs can either be hunting dogs or those real sweet, fun dogs that are like golden retrievers.
Yeah.
So if you like mine are like 90, they were like 90 pounds. So standard poodle.
Okay.
And they were bred from labs, I guess, that were hunting dogs because they're killers. They kill coyotes, rabbits, cats. They chase deer all day long, and they're fast, and they weren't friendly at all.
Well,
and, if you want one of those, get a golden doodle.
Okay, yeah, that's what Susan has. She got a golden doodle, Thera, who's very sweet. My neighbors next door, they have a golden doodle. So yeah, and they're they're like 45 pounds.
Yeah, a lot of times they are, but you just never know what you're going to get when you go with the Labradoodle.
Okay, I will take that under advisement.
Same thing with chickens. You never know what they're going to, when you lift, you never know what you're going to get. It's a surprise every day.
You might get a moody chicken that just wants to lay once and then go, hey, if you give me a rooster, I'd lay more. But no, I'll just be a frustrated chicken here waiting for you, Mr. Farmer.
No, I hate roosters. No, thank you. All right, let me see what we're going to wrap up here with. Yeah, when I was a kid, I used to have this old man gave me. I didn't know it at the time when he gave, but he gave me a bunch of these chickens that were fighting chickens, like they were called Loman white hackles, and they were beautiful. And they had these beautiful feathers on them, but they were mean as shit, and they all had spurs, And if you reached in there to try to get the eggs, the mama she'd spur you. But those roosters,
I cut you, man.
They were obnoxious.
Yeah, those Bantam roosters. You ever have seen Bantam roosters?
Yeah, I had one. I had to kill it.
They're ornery.
It took over the damn chicken yard. And then it would lead the hens off in the woods, and they were smart. They'd lay one egg in the coop and one out in the woods, one in the coop, and then one day that hen would disappear. and she was sitting on those eggs somewhere, and you'd have to go find her.
Yeah.
Bitch. To get rid of her.
So you were traumatized by a rooster in your early life. So
I was. Alpha, I'm sure that you would be on this list if you were a big enough star, but there's a list out from Threads, which I guess is part of Instagram now, but it's a list of celebrities that nobody dislikes.
Nobody
that's
dislikes?
Pretty hard to do. That's what it says. That's pretty hard to do.
Well, I'm working on getting to the level where I'm not in the honey wagon. So, I mean, that's, as we talked about yesterday. So that's
an
my
ambitious goal. I don't blame you. So here's the list. Mr. Rogers, Paul Rudd, Diane Keaton, Viola Davis, Angela Bassett, Harrison Ford, Bob Ross, Brendan Fraser, Dick Van Dyke, and Willie Nelson.
Okay.
You know, I really want to hate somebody on this list, but
well, depending on your political views, there's a couple on that list who are suffering from the anti-Trump syndrome, the Trump derangement syndrome, so to speak.
Diane Keaton, but she's dead, so we really can't hate her because she died a couple weeks ago.
Mr. Rogers can't hate him.
No, Harrison Ford, we'd go with him.
Well, he's one of those that he says that Donald Trump is one of the most evil people who ever lived. And
all right, I'll go with him. I hate him.
Yeah, that's a little harsh, I think. Bob Ross, you can hate Bob Ross.
He no, he's dead too. I don't want to hate him. What was the name? Harrison Ford married Ally McBeal, the woman that played Ally McBeal. Remember her?
Callista Flockhart.
Yeah, are they still married?
I don't think so. I think they've split. Though
he's been married several times.
Wouldn't swear to that.
No, that's why I hate him, because he dumped Ally McBeal. Bless her.
Oh,
heart.
okay.
Well, so sweet.
We've all got our
Ford
reasons.
Dumped her. And then at number 11, I only gave you the top 10. Dolly Parton, and we talked about a little bit about yesterday that Dolly's getting some backlash for her. Her show at Dollywood and down at Myrtle Beach.
Yeah, it's not as patriotic and God-loving and country-loving as it used to be. And there's some people who are upset by that.
I want to thank everybody for being here today for the Jack Murphy podcast, especially my co-host, Alpha Trevette, the famous actor who spends a lot of time in a honey wagon.
Who's not on that list yet, but...
Not on that list, but he's working on it. If you haven't, go ahead and subscribe to the podcast, like this video, and hopefully we'll be back with our ring lights and another podcast tomorrow here on the Jack Murphy podcast.
Happy Veterans Day.
Thanks for watching the Jack Murphy Podcast. Remember to like, subscribe, and ring that bell. Go ahead, ring it. Get alerts when a new episode drops, and tell your friends about the Jack Murphy Podcast. But only the cool friends, please. Tune in next time for another episode of the Jack Murphy Podcast.